I'm Debbie Godfrey, and this is the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. In season 2, I'm answering your questions about parenting. So feel free to go to the link in the description and leave me a voice message, and I may answer your question on this podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and enjoy today's Pep Talk.
This is again about my son, which actually I probably should ask things about my daughter. But anyway, it's sort of piggybacking on the crying in public. It's just in general, with lots of different things. His first reaction is to cry or scream or throw a fit. And I don't know how to address this with him, just being like, this is not how we go about getting what you need or communicating. Like, this is not the proper way to do it. And I don't know how to address that with him. It could be anything. It could be he wants a cookie, and I'm like, no, you can have a cookie after dinner. No, but I need one now. I'm not leaving until I get it. And we don't give in. So that's the thing. We're not giving in to the behavior. So I don't know why he continues to do it. So I'm trying to figure out why he continues to do it. But it's even like, we'll be going on an errand. I don't want to. We'll be on an errand. He'll say, I'm so thirsty. I'm going to die. Oh, my God, I'm going to die. I need water now. It's like if he's in a situation that he doesn't want to be in, he'll start crying, and he'll usually come up with a reason like, oh, my gosh, I'm so hungry, or I'm so thirsty, I'm going to die unless you do X, Y, or Z. And we don't give into it. So I'm like, why is he continuing this behavior that is not okay? And how can I communicate to him that it needs to stop, that he's going to be 7? I say to him, you're too old to cry, but I know that's not really a nice thing to say, because at any age, it's okay to cry if you have a reason to, but these just aren't reasons in my mind that he should be crying. Does the question make sense?
Well, it's like listening to you and hearing, like, you never give in. It's like what I'm hearing from his end is, like, see me. I need you to see me and understand me. And, so if when he's crying, do you think he's sad or do you think he's angry?
Honestly, it's not like, I see what you're getting at, that maybe like he feels like he's not heard in the house, but he gets, I can tell you, so many gems that I almost feel like
I don't. It's not that
our kids are spoiled with gems. In general, I think he's frustrated. Like, he wants something, and he's crying because he's upset that he's not getting it. So I wouldn't say that he's actually sad. I would probably say more angry that he's not getting his way.
Okay, so start with that then. So when he starts pitching the fit and crying, what you want to do is see if you can accurately label the feeling behind the crying. So probably the way it's happening now, it's like, quit crying, because the implication is, don't be a baby, kind of suck it up. Like, we don't have to use, drama.
I'm like, why are you crying because you want a cookie? Stop it. This is not something to cry about. Like, it's not a big deal. You can have it after dinner. Yeah. But, and I guess it's minimizing his feeling that he wants a cookie now. I don't know.
Exactly. And so he's just going to get louder and stronger because he needs you to see whatever it is. So let's just assume that it's probably anger or something around that. So when he starts screaming for a cookie, then I want you to describe what you see accurately. We're hoping it's accurate. It looks like you said he's 7, right?
He'll be 7 at the end of the summer.
Okay. Looks like there's an almost 7-year-old boy that's really upset that he can't have a cookie right now. Or looks like there's a 7-year-old boy that's really angry that he can't have a cookie right now. And what you're trying to do is throw something out there that gets what we call a recognition response. So you might have to mix up the words. Looks like there's a little boy that's discouraged from getting a cookie right now. Or it looks like there's a little boy who's going to blow the roof off the house if he doesn't get a cookie right now. It's like,
do you think he's doing this because he's not understanding his feeling, or is he continuing to do this because he wants attention from me, or like that's what I just don't understand. I'm like,
yes, he needs you to help him process his feelings, and that's not happening.
Okay.
So his feelings are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so you have to help them learn how to identify and process their feelings. And maybe you guys don't do this so much. Maybe you're very self-controlled and, and hold your feelings in. So maybe for him, expressing your feelings is going to be the role modeling that he needs. So notice when you're feeling either sad or angry and express that with appropriate expression. So I feel angry. What I want to do is scream. What I'm going to do instead is take 10 deep breaths and then just role model it for him. So start looking for opportunities to role model, managing feelings for him, because he somehow missed that part of the train there, and he's doing this drama
so
thing.
Instead of telling him this feeling isn't appropriate, I need to show him what inappropriate behavior is when I'm feeling anger, when I'm mad, when I'm happy, or not happy, but when I'm, frustrated, or this is how you would do it as an adult or as an older child.
You're to show them. Yeah, that's helpful to them. So that's the thing, with parents that are really reserved or controlled about their emotions, the kids don't get to see how to process emotions. They need to learn that. So trying to, I would, just diving in there and trying to go there with him. And I know that's not been the way, and you said you've never indulged him, but I think indulging him is going to be the way out.
Yeah.
And it's not indulging him as in giving him the thing that he's making a drama for. It's giving him time and attention to learn how to process these feelings of not getting what he wants when he wants it. And think about a time, Adrienne, where you've had that. Like, when has there been a time where you really wanted something and you couldn't get it? And to say, gosh, I remember this one time I really wanted a blah, blah, blah. And, whether you handled it appropriately or inappropriately, tell him about it. And tell him, what you did or how you did it or what you could do differently or what you wanted to do differently. I mean, just relate to him in a way that he can see a story in his mind and make different decisions about how to be. Because just saying don't do that doesn't give him the information that he needs for what to do instead. And
yeah.
It just sounds to me like he needs some help with learning how to process his emotions. And it's really neat.
I just get confused because at school he gets exemplary remarks from his teacher, just how he behaves himself, how he relates to other kids. So it just seems like he's such a good kid at school, and not when I say good, it's just he's good at managing his emotions, at communicating his emotions at school, but it's like at home he's just kind of relies on this whining or crying or throwing a fit. So that's why I was
okay. So this has been better news.
I'm not giving him something. I'm not.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is really good news, and this is better news because because the fact that he's totally fine at school and dealing with kids and peers and teachers means that this is a dynamic between you guys, and that's
okay.
good news because that's good news because that means that there's something you can do about it, and it's also even better news because this is probably an area of great importance to you in your relationship. So there's something for you to learn and something for you to teach. And there's something for him to learn and there's something for him to teach. So this is one of those really pivotal dynamics in a relationship between parents and children that if you take the opportunity and choose to grow, that your relationship becomes really deep. And let me share an example with my own daughter to illuminate this for you, because you're going to go down a different path somehow with him, and I don't know what it would be. So Michelle, it's almost exactly how you were explaining. So she's all my stories in this class are about her, because she and I just butted heads, and we had so many power struggles, and so many success stories that I got to share with people and all that. And there was this one time where I was at her second grade, I was talking to her teacher, second grade school conference. And I looked very wisely at the teacher, and I said, Michelle, she's one of those spirited children. The teacher looked at me like I was nuts. And she's like, I don't get that at all. She gets along really well with the kids. She listens in class. She does what she's supposed to do. Basically, she's like, you're crazy, Mom. And that's when I realized, like, this was a dynamic between her and I. That it wasn't that she was a spirited child. It's that her and I had some kind of a dynamic set up where we were getting in lots of power struggles. We weren't understanding each other, et cetera, et cetera. So I went to counseling because that's what I do when I need help. And so I call up a counselor that I know, and I said, I need some help with this kid. And I told her what happened. And so she's like, well, you come in and I'll watch the two of you together, and then you can come back and get some coaching. So I went into this session, and the counselor said, okay, play this game, or she set something up, and we had to play together for the hour of the session. And so we played this. I think we were building something, actually. We were building something. So then I went back the next week without Michelle, and she's like, okay, so here's what I noticed. She said, Michelle is really attentive, and you're really interactive. So you're getting in there and telling her, like, let's do this, let's do that, blah, blah, blah. And she's just watching you like a hawk, and you're not looking or listening for her cues. And so what you need to do is back off, not be so directive, and wait and follow her lead. And I mean, we talked for an hour, but that was the crux of what I got out of that. And basically what I needed to learn was patience. And this kid, like my older daughter and my son, they just got mom is like all over the place. She's here, she's there, that, and they were fine with it. But Michelle, my middle child, she never did well with my kind of ADD running around crazy behavior. She needed me to be in her face, paying attention to her, or she was screaming bloody murder. And this is from the time she was little. I mean, like even with that one, like my other kids I nursed longer than a year. With Michelle, I actually gave her a bottle when she was less than a year old, because if I wasn't like right there with her, she would just be screaming. And if I gave her a bottle, I could get away for a second. I mean, this is before parenting classes, so I'm not talking very bonding wise, but it was just like, it was crazy for me because I had to slow down so much to be effective with her or whatever. So this coaching that I got was be patient, watch for her cues, follow her lead. And that completely transformed my relationship with her. So just getting that little thing. And then after that, I looked at that as a gift she gave me. So she gave me the gift of patience. She gave me the gift of stop and focus. She gave me the gift of just do this one thing at a time and don't be trying to do 100 things at once. So those were gifts that she gave me. And I gave her the gift of my time, my attention, my patience, my transformation. You're so important to me that even though I think you're a spirited kid, which means a bad kid, right? I'm willing to extend myself and learn and grow in order to be more close and connected with you. That was a huge gift to give this kid, because the kids who don't get that gift from their parents of transformation and growth continue to feel not seen and not heard and not understood. So look for the opportunities here, Adrienne and Ben, to really see, like, what is this kid crying, screaming, almost 7-year-old boy? Like, what is the message here? What is the gift? What is the learnings? Because there's something going on. It's a little extreme for that age and that stage. And so, and the fact, and like I said, it's such great news that it's not happening at school. If it was happening at school, it would be a diagnosis of something, but it's not. It's a dynamic that you guys have set up. And it's probably
so
something.
So it's the way that I'm reacting to him somehow, or
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and
I
it's
just have to
like I
figure
said,
out what it is.
Yeah, and just like the brief little bits you told me, it just sounds like it's something related, dealing with emotions, and that's the track I would go down. So start with your own emotions and looking at how do I process emotions, what do I do with my emotions, and then extend out from there. And everything you learn for yourself is something you get to teach him.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. That was a little less practical than I like to be, but it was what I was hearing. So.
Thank you for listening to today's Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. If you're into season 2 and you're listening to all these great questions that the parents have and answers and ideas for what to do in all these different situations with your kids, please help us out. Like, share, subscribe, and especially leave us a positive review. All of that helps the podcast grow, and I really appreciate it. Thanks again for being here and happy parenting.